Find your niche. They are proficient at targeting market opportunities. Why is it that you're not wealthy? Perhaps it's because you are not pursuing opportunities that exist in the marketplace. There are significant business opportunities for those who target the affluent, the children of the affluent, and the widows and widowers of the affluent. Very often, those who supply the affluent become wealthy themselves. Conversely, many people, including business owners, self employed professionals, sales professionals, and even some salaried workers, never produce high incomes. Perhaps it's because their clients and customers have little or no money. But you may say, you have told us that the affluent are often frugal. They target those who are not big spenders. Why focus on people who are sensitive to the price variations in products and services? The affluent, especially the self-made affluent, are frugal and price sensitive concerning many consumer products and services, but they are not nearly as price sensitive when it comes to purchasing investment advice and services, accounting services, tax advice, legal services, medical and dental care for themselves and family members, educational products, and homes. Since the majority of the affluent are self-employed business owners and managers, they also purchasers of industrial products and services. They are consumers of everything from office space to computer software. Also, the affluent are not at all frugal when it comes to buying products and services for their children and grandchildren, nor are the children of the affluent frugal when it comes to spending the substantial gifts of cash that their parents and grandchildren give them. Follow the money. In the next decade, there will be more wealth in this country than ever before. Opportunities to serve the wealthy will be greater than ever. Consider the facts about the American economy. In 1996, approximately 3.5 million households in America, out of a total of 100 million households, had a net worth of 1 million or more. Millionaires' households accounted for nearly half of all private wealth in America. During the 10-year period from 1996 to 2005, wealth held by American households is expected to grow nearly 6 times faster than the household population. By the year 2005, the total net worth of American households will be $27.7 trillion, or more than 20% higher than it is in 1996. By 2005, the millionaire household population is expected to reach approximately 5.6 million. At that time, the majority of the private wealth in America, or approximately 59%, will be held by 5.3% of households that have a net worth of 1 million or more. During the period from 1996 through 2005, it is estimated that 692,493 descendants will leave estates worth 1 million or more. This translates into 2.1 trillion in 1990 constant dollars. About 1/3 of this amount will be distributed to the descendants' spouses. Widows will receive an estimated 560.2 billion, while the children of descendants will receive nearly 400 billion. This translates into 189,484 for each of the estimated 2,077,490 children of descendants. People who receive wealth from the estates of affluent parents have a significantly higher propensity to spend than others in their income age cohort. Additionally, to minimize estate taxes, many affluent parents reduce the size of their estates by transferring much of their wealth to their offspring before death. During the 10-year period, 1996 to 2005, it is forecasted that living grandparents will give their adult grandchildren more than $1 trillion. These gifts will be in various forms, including cash, collectibles, homes, cars, commercial real estate, public securities, and mortgage payments. This $1 trillion in gifts translates into more than $600,000 for each child of the affluent. This $1 trillion figure is a very conservative estimate, since, as stated earlier, by the year 2005, households in America with a net worth of 1 million or more will account for 16.3 trillion, or 59%, of personal wealth in America. The $1 trillion given to children and grandchildren thus represents a small portion of this wealth. Much of this gift giving is tax-free. Typically, parents distribute their wealth so as to limit gift tax liabilities. Each parent can give each child and grandchild up to $10,000 annually. Thus, a mother and father with 3 children and 6 grandchildren can give them $180,000 tax-free each year. Also note that gifts of tuition and medical expenses are typically not included in computations of gift tax liability. Businesses and professionals likely to benefit from the affluent. There are many. Those who are specialists in solving the problem of the affluent and their heirs should be in great demand during the next 20 years. Attorneys who specialize. A father recently asked us about the ideal occupation for his son. At the time of this discussion, his son was a second-year college student with a straight A average. How did the father respond when he suggested that his son consider becoming an attorney? He said there were too many attorneys. We replied that there were too many law school graduates. There's always a demand for high-grade attorneys. Attorneys who can generate new business are even higher demand. The father asked about the areas of law that would be best suited for his son. We described 3. Estate attorney. Too many? The first area we recommended was estate law. During the 10-year period, 1996 to 2005, attorneys' fees associated with settling estates in the 1 million or more category will total an estimated $17.1 billion. Many attorneys will also earn revenue by acting as executors and co-executors as well as administrators of estates. Attorneys will participate in executors or administrators for only a fraction of the estates worth 1 million or more, but even a fraction of the estimated 22.3 billion in executor fees and 16.9 billion in administrator fees translates into high profits and enlightened estate attorneys. In essence, estate attorneys will likely generate more than 25 billion in revenue from servicing estates in the 1 million or more range during the 1996 to 2005 period. This figure is greater than the net income generated by all law partnerships for all services in 1994. Of course, this total is only a small amount compared with the nearly 270 billion that will be paid to the federal government in estate taxes during the same period. There is more to being a successful estate attorney than just providing legal advice. The more successful ones also act as mentors and family advisors to the affluent and their heirs. These attorneys have been especially adept at meeting the needs of the widows and widowers who are their clients. Within the affluent married couple population, almost all husbands and wives intend to leave their estates to their spouses, since a husband or wife can inherit his or her spouse's estate without paying an estate tax. This unlimited marital deduction essentially postpones payment for estate taxes until the death of the second spouse. Affluent widows face a particularly difficult situation. More than half will have been married to the same spouse for more than 50 years. Between 1996 and 2005, there are likely to be 4 affluent widows created for every 1 affluent widower. Age is most significant in explaining this variation. Within the millionaire married couple population, the expected age range of a male descendant is 75 and a half years, while the average age for a female descendant is 82 years. Moreover, males in such cases typically marry women who are on average 2 years their junior. Thus, in the typical affluent couple population, the husband who passes away at the age of 75 and a half leaves behind a widow who is 2 years younger than he was at the time of death. His wife, who becomes a widow at the age of 73, is expected to live until she is 82. Most women in this scenario never remarry. Therefore, most women are widowed for 9 years before their deaths. It is estimated that during the 10-year period from 1996 to 2005, nearly 296,000 women in the millionaire married couple population will become widows. Their average inheritance will be approximately $2 million. During the same period, nearly 72,000 men from this population will become widowers. It is estimated that these men will inherit more than $125 billion, or an average inheritance of approximately $1.7 million. In what states will the demand for estate attorneys be the strongest? We predict that demand in California, Florida, New York, Illinois, Texas, and Pennsylvania will be especially high during the next decade. On income and or wealth, which is the number one income consuming category among the affluent? Income tax. The influence of the $200,000 and more annualized realized income category account for only about 1% of the U.S. households, but pay 25% of the tax on personal income. They will want to become better at realizing less income in the future. What will happen in the year 2005 when millionaire households will control 59% of America's personal wealth? The government will likely place increased pressure on the affluent, possibly by creating innovative ways to tax wealth in addition to income. This prospect, according to our surveys of millionaires, is foremost in the minds of the affluent. Paying increasingly high taxes to cover government spending and reduce the federal deficit is among the greatest fears of the affluent population. Several states already have a wealth tax. Each year, residents in such states must list all their financial assets they own. A tax is levied on stocks, bonds, time deposits, and so on. How difficult would it be for our federal government to tax wealth this way? Not too difficult, since it already knows how some states tax capital before it becomes realized income. We believe that in the next 20 years, the affluent will have to use every option within the law to remain affluent. It is a segment of our economy that will be under siege by the liberal politician and his friend, the taxman. Surely the affluent will readily spend their money for legal advice that will help them withstand the siege. The tax attorney will prove to be an integral part of the defense. Thus, the second area of law we recommend to the father for a son was tax law. Wow. For sale, a place in America. The third area of law we recommend was immigration law. Attorneys who specialize in immigration law are likely to benefit from predicted developments in this area. For example, it will become progressively more difficult to immigrate to this country and become a naturalized citizen. At the same time, the demand for American citizenship will increase greatly, especially among affluent foreigners. Consider how millionaire entrepreneurs and advocates of free enterprise living in Taiwan feel about their future. China also wants their capital and country. China wants the Philippines for its oil. Who can guess how the Chinese government will treat the affluent population of a country it acquires? China is a real threat to many affluent people who live within its influence. Many of these people will seek American citizenship. Immigration attorney will surely benefit from this trend. People do not feel safe, said Chris Chiang of the Taiwan-based Pan American Immigration Company. They want to come to the U.S. Billions of dollars have flowed out of Taiwan since mainland China held naval maneuvers off the island's coast. China considers Taiwan a renegade province. The fear of affluent Taiwanese business owners is reflected in their movement of money into America. In fact, they recently invested more than $10 billion in California alone. Now they are considering investing $50 million in Atlanta. What do they get for investing in this country? The $1 Million Investor Program was created by Congress in 1990. It allows foreign nationals to attain permanent U.S. residency if they invest $1 million in a U.S. business, provided that investment creates 10 jobs. The need for immigration-related legal expertise is not limited to foreigners who are affluent entrepreneurs. Many highly skilled professionals and scientific workers are being sought in growing numbers by American corporations. These employees have an increasing need for the services of attorneys who have considerable expertise and experience with immigration statutes. Medical and dental care specialists. Many specialists will benefit from the enormous number of dollars that the affluent population will spend for health care in the next decade. Boy, that's for sure. A growing number of wealthy people will pay for the medical and dental expenses of their adult children and grandchildren. Currently, more than 4 in 10 millionaires, 44%, are paying or have paid for the medical dental expenses of their adult offspring and or grandchildren. We estimate that in the next 10 years, millionaires will spend in excess of $52 billion for the medical and dental care of their adult children and grandchildren. Most of these medical and dental expenses are not covered by health care insurance programs. Skilled healthcare specialists who prefer to deal directly with individual payers and not the bureaucratic third-party organizations will be especially important in providing these uncovered services. A growing number of healthcare professionals are already focusing on this affluent self-payer market. Those professionals with the highest skills and corresponding reputations can most readily capitalize on this trend. Often they can demand and receive fees that are higher than any insurance company would be willing to pay. The affluent will often pay directly to the healthcare professional or organization. This way, they avoid the possibility of paying gift tax on such distributions. Also, many affluent people will pay for their own elective healthcare services. Specialists who will benefit include dentists providing cosmetic dentistry, including bleaching, bonding, veneers, invisible braces, cosmetic nasal surgery, and chin and corrective jaw surgery. Plastic surgeons providing nose reshaping surgery, ear reshaping surgery, tattoo removal, facial contouring, and chemical peels and permanent hair removal. Dermatologists providing mole removal, cosmetic surgery, acne treatment, freckle removal, and electrolysis. Allergists who providing treatment for fatigue, rashes, hives, itching, allergy-related mood swings, and depression. Food allergies, learning disabilities, and new house sickness. Psychologists providing career counseling, academic and career assessment, treating for attention deficit disorder, treatment for compulsive eating disorder, shyness and assertiveness conditioning, and intelligence and aptitude testing. Psychiatrists providing treatment for stress and anxiety, drug and alcohol abuse, school stress, and panic disorders. Chiropractors providing treatment for stress relief and head, neck, and lower back pain. Asset liquidators, facilitators, and appraisers. Not all intergenerational gifts are in the form of cash or its equivalents. Gifts to adult children and grandchildren are often in the form of private family businesses, coin collections, stamp collections, gems, precious metals, and timberland, farms, rights to oil and gas properties, personal real estate, commercial real estate, gun collections, porcelains, antiques, art, motor vehicles, furnitures, and the like. Often the recipients of these items have little or no interest in them and want to transform them into cash immediately. They will need experts to advise them of the true value of the gifts and how to sell them, manage them even for short periods of time, or enhance their value. Specialists who will include appraisers and auctioneers, providing valuation, appraisals, services, and sales of a variety of personal and other assets, such as those listed above. Coin and stamp dealers providing appraisal services and, in some cases, instant cash for coin and stamp collections. Pawnbrokers providing services at the local level. They often promote themselves as specialists in purchasing estate jewelry, diamonds, precious metals, coins, guns, antiques, China collectibles, expensive watches, sterling flatware, and so on. Real estate management professionals providing property management of single multi-family dwellings, maintenance services, rent collection, and turnkey cleanup. Educational institutions and professionals. More than 40% of America's affluent pay for their grandchildren's private grade school and or high school tuition. Coupled with the rapid growth of the affluent population, this translates into several million students whose tuition to attend private school will be subsidized within the next 10 years. Given these facts, the demand for private school facilities and private school teachers, counselors, and tutors will likely accelerate. At the same time, tuition and related expenses should increase significantly. Why? Because affluent grandparents are bidding up the cost of private school tuition. Since many of their adult children do not have to pay for the services from which their children benefit, the parents are relatively insensitive to the escalating cost of a private school education. Organizations and specialists who will benefit include proprietors and teachers at private schools that provide tuition-based education at the preschool, kindergarten, elementary, and high school levels. Proprietors and teachers in specialized areas such as music, drama, the arts, special education learning disability programs, career counseling, and tutorials for SAT and other type of entrance aptitude tests. Professional service specialists. As stated previously, attorneys play a pivotal role in the transfer of wealth between generations. Accountants are also important in this regard. These professionals often serve as key advisors to the affluent. Advice in this context extends beyond the normal core of accounting and legal services. These professionals are relied on for their insights into how best to distribute substantial financial and other gifts to children and grandchildren. Clients often view these accountants as their first line of defense against paying substantial gift and estate taxes. They are often called upon to be co-executors of the estates of their affluent clients. It is not unusual for co-executors in these situations to receive a percentage of the estates of their clients. This is one way the affluent reward these trusted advisors for a lifetime of sage advice. Specialists who will benefit include accountants, providing tax planning strategies, estate, trust, and gift tax solutions, fiduciary services, business asset evaluation, and retirement planning. House specialist dwelling product services. More than half of the affluent population will provide their offspring with financial assistance in purchasing a home. This figure annually understates the incidence of such outpatient care because often other substantial financial gifts not earmarked for specific use are used for home purchases and related expenses. Those who receive home acquisition subsidies from their relatives are often less sensitive to the variations in home prices than the non subsidized. As always, our data suggests that it is easier to spend other people's money. That's the truth. This trend should benefit many of those who are employed in the residential housing and mortgage lending businesses. Home acquisition subsidies typically do not negate the need for credit. Actually, parents who provide purchase price of a home often precipitate the purchase of more expensive homes and larger mortgages on the part of their sons and daughters. Specialists will benefit include home building contractors, mortgage lenders, remodeling contractors, renovation contractors, residential real estate developers, residential real estate agents, retailers of paint, wall coverings and decorating products, marketers of alarm and security systems, and security consultation services, providers of interior design and decorating services. Fundraising counselors. Specialists will benefit include professionals who conduct philanthropic research, develop targeting strategies, and counsel foundations and educational institutions. Travel agents and bureaus and travel consultants. The affluent enjoy vacationing with their children and grandchildren, and many of the affluent spend considerable amounts doing so. About 55% recently spent more than $5,000 for a vacation. About 1 in 6 spend in excess of $10,000. Specialists who will benefit include marketers of family-oriented vacation resorts, marketers of cruise, tours, worldwide vacations, and treks and safaris. Where are the opportunities likely to be? People who are interested in targeting the wealthy need to know the geographical distribution of opportunities available. Note that earlier in this chapter, we provided estimates by state of the number of total dollars value of estates in the 1 million or more category. But keep in mind that for every estate in the 1 million or more category, there are about 40 millionaires who are still alive. Thus, for many people who wish to market to the affluent, living millionaires are the more important of the two groups. With this in mind, we have estimated how many U.S. households will have a net worth of 1 million or more in the year 2005. We have also estimated how many of these households there will be in each of the 50 states, the District of Columbia, and among Americans living outside of the U.S. Note that California has the largest millionaire household population. In terms of concentration per 100,000 households, however, Connecticut ranks first.